Hey, mamas. Thank you so much for tuning in to a brand new episode of the podcast. I am so excited because Hallie is officially a mom of two. She is going to walk us through that labor, that delivery, what the first few weeks of life with Collins has been like. And I'm just so excited for you to share all these amazing details. So
Yes.
let's kick it off. Walk me through, first of all, what happened when you went into labor.
Okay. So the beauty of being induced is that you really can plan so much. So my doctor, we had an induction time set for the afternoon. My doctor said, go have lunch, like eat before you come in, because once you're checked in, you can't have anything but clear liquids. So this birth, because my baby is named after my mom, it's her maiden name. And my mom is just my best friend and truly the best person I know. Andrew and I wanted her to be in labor and delivery with us. So the three of us went to a fancy lunch in the city. It felt like we told our waitress, we're like, we're going to have a baby in 2 hours. And she was like, oh, what? Like, this is crazy. But yeah, like we went and had lunch in the city that morning. Andrew, Dylan, and I went to this bakery that we love so much in town called Broken Tart and had breakfast together, like our last date as a family of three. Went in at 4:30, checked in by 5 o'clock. I was in the hospital room getting Pitocin. My mom took notes. That was one of her duties. So,
Like the
because
time of everything that happens.
yes,
Yes.
because you know how it is. Like you black out and you don't remember. Like she was going through these details, and I was like,
What?
what? I forgot that. But yeah, so like I told you, I had that really great strep B or whatever, that bacteria
Right.
in my vag. Cool, cool. So I had to start antibiotics right when I got in. So, and they want you on that for like 4 hours. So I started that and Pitocin. And like people have crazy, you took Pitocin, right?
Yes. Yeah.
How was it for you?
It's funny you say you black out because I feel like I blacked out. I do remember before I got my epidural, I mean, feeling the contractions really come on and they felt really strong. And I don't really remember anything except for that. Is that weird?
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. You're just on so many things and you're like emotional and you're tired. And
Yeah.
yeah. Why? What was your.
Well, it's so weird because they gave me Pitocin and they were like, you're having contractions. Can you feel them? And I was like, no, like I felt nothing. And I was like, when should it's different than the first time. The first time I waited to get to 4 centimeters, then I asked for an epidural. I was already past 4 centimeters. So when I walked in the door, I could have had an epidural, but I was like, I'm not in pain yet. I don't want to wait till I'm in a lot of pain, but I literally don't feel anything. But I knew that they were going to come and break my water. And once they break your water, things start to happen really, really fast. And I didn't want to risk it. So I went ahead and got my epidural at like 8:20 according to my mom's notes. Um,
The
and
next day?
no,
After.
that this is literally 4 hours after I got to the hospital.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. I thought you
Yeah.
got to the hospital at like 5 p.m. Okay.
No, yeah, it was yeah. So we checked in at 5 p.m. They gave me my antibiotics, my Pitocin. Then around 8:20, I got my epidural. And
8:20
then
p.m. My
PM. Yes, this
pregnancy
is
brain.
nighttime. Nighttime.
Okay.
I didn't specify, so how would you know?
In my.
And then they pop my water, and my doctor is amazing. Like, I'm so glad I switched doctors last minute. Like, may this be a PSA to anyone listening who is questioning their medical care. Be your advocate. Your gut knows. Don't be scared to switch practices, to switch doctors, to find someone who hears you, listens to you, makes you feel seen, makes you feel comfortable, has good bedside manner, whatever it is that you want. Listen to that voice inside you because I could not be happier with the doctor that I switched to late in my third trimester. I mean, it was late,
Yeah.
which,
I'm so glad you said that because I think that's a good reminder for all women, pregnant or not, is to advocate for for yourself when it comes to your
Yes.
health.
Yeah, yes, in all facets, like not just
Yeah.
labor and delivery. Like if you go to a doctor with a toe injury and you feel like your doctor is not taking you seriously, like you know your
Yeah.
body, you know what you're experiencing, trust your gut. So, anyway, she was incredible. She said, "I'm coming back in 3 hours. We'll check. It'll most likely be showtime." So, like that 3 hours, I felt no pain. Like I was my epidural, we had the lights dim, we had music going, we all kind of took a nap. My mom was like cracking us up like she always does, being so funny. There were fireworks. Like we had a room with a view of the lake and there were fireworks over the lake. It was just like the most zen, wonderful 3 hours. It
I
was
wish
beautiful.
everyone could experience a labor like you.
Me too. I honestly,
I really
me
do.
too. Me too. I truly do because I mean, I thought Dylan's labor and delivery was beautiful and magical. This was the easiest, most and they say that your second
They-
time is faster, is easier. Like unanimously every medical professional I spoke to said 100%. Like my doctor's like, I think this is going to be real easy, real fast. So that was great. And 3 hours later, she came in, she checked, she said, "You're 10 centimeters. Let's do this." She prepped. Um, yeah. And then
Then you pushed,
I pushed. Okay. So,
or you have to tell the people.
yeah. So it was interesting. We did the first put. Well, first of all, I have a confession.
Ooh.
I pooped.
I was gonna ask you because so many women while they're pushing do. Okay, but that's normal. Let's normalize pooping on the table.
I pooped. But here's the best part. I wasn't pushing. I hadn't started yet.
Well, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
So if you guys know Andrew and I, we don't even fart in front of each other. Like we do not do bathroom things in front of each other. It's how we keep the romance alive. I caught a whiff of something. This is the doctors are like, it's showtime. We're doing this. It's 10 centimeters. Let's go. Haven't pushed yet. They're prepping. I smell something and I go, guys, did I poop? And Andrew, I saw him look, and the look on his face said it all. I was like, I definitely shat because I can see it all over Andrew's face. And he was trying so hard. I mean, he's such
Yeah.
a, he's so supportive and wonderful, but like from going, there was poop on the table. My mom said it was like a meatball.
It was like a hard turd. It wasn't
Yeah.
like
And the
soft.
doctors were like, listen, I was like, I haven't even pushed yet. And they're like, they said that's just because the baby's head is pushing down
Yeah.
on you. So,
And when you have the epidural, you really can't feel anything. So your body is just doing what it has to do, making
so
room.
this will live on the internet forever, but let me just give solace to any other woman who has shat on the table. I too shat on the table. So there's that. But yeah, so once it was time to push, I'd already pooped, so that was cool. And I pushed. So it's like she wanted me to push 3 times with each contraction. I did 4 sets of 3. But yeah, so it was like probably a total of 12 pushes.
Okay.
But she said to me after the first set, she said, "Okay, the next one, are you ready to meet your baby?" And I was like, "On the second push?" But what was crazy is she said that, and I think my body like was like, "Oh my God, we're doing this." And it scared my contractions away. So they started going so it was like we were just sitting there waiting, like butthole in the air, legs in the stirrup, like
Oh my
so
gosh.
we waited. It ended up being like maybe 15 minutes, but had my contractions still been coming as fast as they were, it probably would have been 5 minutes. But I felt zero pain. It was beautiful. My mom was there. She was all up in the end zone.
Oh
Like
yeah. As mom.
literally,
Yeah.
yes. She was like, "Wow, that's a lot of blood." And I was like, not the thing to say.
Yeah.
Not the
Like
thing.
silence is beautiful in this moment.
Yeah. She also documented the birth, and unlike my video with Dylan, this is National Geographic. This will not be posted to the internet. I had a great angle with Dylan where all the goods were hidden, so it was like very PG. This was like titties out, badge out, blood everywhere. It was,
Wait. Did you go back and already watch the birth video?
oh yeah, like shortly
Oh
after.
my gosh. I still to this day, I mean, it's different, I guess, when you have a C-section and your guts are all over the table. My mom was also in the room with us and videoed, and I still to this day cannot go back and watch the full thing.
Why?
I don't know. I just don't want to see myself cut open.
You know
I think,
what? How about
especially
this?
if I have another one coming up, I'm like, I just can't, maybe yet. Maybe I will when I'm done,
Yeah.
but knowing what's ahead, I'm like, I can't do it.
You know what? I was gonna say once you're done and you don't have to think about
It's
your,
different. Yeah.
yes,
I
do
can't
then
believe you've
watch
already watched it. Okay,
Oh
that's
yeah,
amazing.
I love it. I cry, oh, like a little baby. It was so great. She
Yeah.
has a full head of hair. People say she looks like me, which is fun, but it's still really early, but she's kind of been a dream. Like she's already sleeping. Like she's gained so much weight that my doctor was like, if she's going to let you sleep 6 hours at night, sleep 6 hours. She'll give us like 4 to 5.
Oh,
So I'm sleeping well. She's eating like a champ. It's just been great. And Dylan, like, you know how much anxiety I had about bringing her home.
that
Like,
was
we
my
only, yeah,
question is like, what did you do to introduce them? And, have you noticed any behavioral shifts or
yeah.
what's that been like?
So we made a point of we stayed 24 hours in the hotel and we were or in the hotel. That's generous. In the
Hospital?
hospital, not a hotel. Um at all. We stayed there for 24 hours and honestly, like I haven't taken Tylenol since I was in the like my healing has been incredible. I'm not bleeding anymore. I'm out of my adult diapers. Like it's really been great.
No, no tearing.
I tore a little bit, but less than I did with Dylan. So that's
Okay.
great.
Okay.
And we made this point to come after Dylan was already asleep so that the next morning we could do a proper introduction just with us and our immediate family. And she was so sweet. Like I videotaped that as well. Like she saw the baby, she went and got a stuffed animal that from the corner and brought it to the baby and she just I will say like the first 2 nights she kind of was acting out a little bit, like having tantrums that weren't her normal self. But now she's like so I would say she's extra affectionate with Andrew and I. She's like really invested in Collins. It's very, very sweet. So it put my mind at ease. And I got a stuffed bear that the baby gave to Dylan, and that was a good little moment. But you're gonna feel this too. Like they're so young still that it's okay. It's not like a total disruptor of their lives. And
Right.
another thing that I will say for you, we've been asking all the parents of multiples that we've had on this podcast if it's harder to go from 0 to 1 or 1 to 2. And I will say, in my experience so far, easier to go 1 to 2.
Okay. That's good
It's
to know.
chaotic. But remember how Helena said, like, this time's going to be better because I'm better?
Yeah. You feel more confident.
Yeah, you just like I had forgotten. Remember, I was like, I need to Google how to care for a newborn. It all comes back so fast, and you just are more confident and you're less scared. Even just handling the baby, you feel more
Yeah.
equipped to do it, and it's like less precious. It's still a beautiful season, and you're savoring it and all the things. But like in terms of feeling like I need to sanitize every last inch of this house and like, all the crazy things we did the first time, like you just know it's all okay. There's just an ease about it that's really
Yeah.
great.
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
I'm so
And you
happy for your
had,
family.
yeah, but also you, Katie, you had Kaya's first birthday.
What a couple of weeks we've had.
No, it's so
Like
exciting.
welcoming babies. Your oldest turned 2. My
Yes.
baby turned 1. Like June is a really big month for us. And yes, Kaya turned 1. And I don't know why, but it makes me a little bit emotional only because I'm so proud in a weird way that we did it.
Yes.
It kind of flew by, and I feel like when I think back to her being in the newborn stage, I kind of felt like what is this year going to be like? And what, it was hard for me. I think I've been open about that the first few months. I had like some postpartum, and now seeing where she's at and like getting to celebrate this milestone is so exciting.
Yes.
And we talked about, the birthday party dilemma. Like, do we need to throw a birthday party? Is it necessary? They're not going to remember it. I planned to do like a small thing. It turned into, it was still like intimate, like it was mostly family and like very close friends with kids and the neighbors. Um, but it was like a magical day. It was really hard for me. Like my feet at the end of the day, because I'm now in my third trimester, look like Mickey Mouse's gloves, like
Yeah.
his hand. Like
That's a great way to explain it. That's such
I,
a visual.
it was concerning. I
Yeah.
showed Jason, he was like, "Oh, wow." And then he was so sweet. He's like, "I love them. I love you no matter what." And he like gave me a kiss, but like my feet were so swollen that I was terrified, but the swelling went down. All that to say, my mom is a warrior, just kind of like how your mom is. She showed up at 8 a.m. the morning of the party, and we made a million zillion like tea sandwiches. She helped me set everything up. I felt like
Reminder, the theme was
oh,
Kaia
yeah.
in Wonderland. So tea sandwiches were perfect because it was
Yes,
on theme.
I should have said that. We really stuck to this like Wonderland theme, and I found all this like cute decor and all these little signs that you could hang through the entryway that was like down the rabbit hole. Tea party this way, not that way, wrong way, this way, somewhere, and figured out the balloons. I actually surprised myself. I did half of the balloons and then someone else did the other half, but
You
significantly
crushed
cheaper.
it.
Was it I feel like I did the best I could and I stayed within the budget that I wanted to. And I honestly don't know how it all got done, but it got done. Well, I do
It
know
was,
how. It was a village.
listen,
It takes a
if you
village.
don't follow Katie on Instagram, follow Katie on Instagram and go look at her reel because she posted a whole little recap. The decor was so cute. It was all like pastels and very girly. Kaia looked so cute. Her little outfit with the one written on it. You looked amazing. That dress, you linked it and
Amazon.
Amazon. I mean, hello, so cute. I mean, it was perfect. You did it.
We
Are
did
you
it.
happy you did it?
I'm so happy we did it because, and here I'll tell you why. This might seem so silly, but this is Kaya's only birthday that she's going to have without a sibling.
Yeah.
And for that reason, it was important for me to like celebrate her in a weird mom insane way, and for her to like see these pictures one day of her being so celebrated. And yes, I'm so happy. I loved her cake eating moment because my daughter is like, she's a ham for the cameras, but she's so chill and unfazed. I
Mm.
feel like having ton of people sit there and watch you eat cake for the first time would be terrifying for a 1-year-old child. But for some reason, she just sat there, looked around, and just started eating her cake as if that was
She
completely
was
normal.
Marie Antoinette.
It like, who is she? Like, is I don't know. I just am
Having
like,
your cake.
yeah, I'm impressed by her.
Mm.
I will say at the end of the day, after everyone left, just the three of us, me, Jason, and her, were sitting outside, and she had a total, she doesn't have meltdowns. Like, this child really does not have meltdowns, total meltdown. And I was like, okay, no more sugar.
Yeah.
I feel like that, and probably a lot of overstimulation. And so I need to go back to just like that calm, regulated schedule that she likes to be on. And yeah, I can't, I just, like you threw Dylan a party. It feels really good almost after the fact
Yeah.
because
Honestly,
you're
I was
like,
like, I
oh,
can't wait for this to be over.
yeah.
I was like,
W-
get these ponies out of the house. Like,
It,
what is wrong with me? But
that also, you can't have a single conversation with a single person. At
no.
least and I felt so bad about that because it's like you're running around. Also, there's a few times where I had to like go inside and just like sit down and like rest my feet and protect this baby and just like take a second. And I'm so grateful for grandparents that were there to like hold Kaia and help me with Kaia and help me and Jason because we're both trying to like talk to people, but you just can't. You can't have a full conversation with anybody. We still have not opened any of her gifts. I said no gifts on the invitation.
People can't help
But
themselves.
people can't help themselves. And I think that's, says a lot about our friends and family, like how sweet. But I have a pile of gifts. I'm looking at them right now for her to open. So I think we're going to do like one a day. So it's not like overstimulation with like toys and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, we haven't gotten to that.
You know what? One a day is great. She'll love the opening moment. I'm proud
Yeah.
of you for doing it and doing it 8 months pregnant. Like, what a warrior, man. Are you, do you feel like okay, we got to talk. Like, are you prepped? How's the nursery going for baby two? Like, what's left to do?
So this weekend coming up, we are going to get all of her clothes washed, like all of Kaya's hand-me-downs, and kind of get everything ready to go in her nursery. We have the crib, we have the camera, we have the crib mattress. We just have, yeah, we still have to figure out a stroller situation. Having two under 15 months is going to be wild. And we still have to figure out like the changing system because I think we'll need to, just because I don't, when Kaya goes down for a nap, I can't go in her room to change the newborn, all that good stuff. So I think this weekend is our weekend to do all that because as I get more pregnant, everything becomes more challenging, as you know, and my
Oh,
pregnancy is pretty high risk. So I think we want everything done by like 32, 33 weeks, just in the event,
yeah.
something happens. We do have a big scan next week just to check everything out, see what's going on, see baby E as we're calling her. And yeah, I told Jason, I was like, everything this weekend is gonna get done. And then we will cruise and relax the final weeks or however long we have.
Yeah.
And yeah, it makes me feel better that you made it to your induction date
Hmm.
because so many people I know don't and they go into labor beforehand. I mean, my sister, you guys had the same due date and she went into labor before her scheduled second C-section a week early and they ended up having to like bump someone else's C-section, get her in right away, and it was just it's more chaotic when you go earlier than expected, right?
Yeah.
And she was like, we didn't have everything done. Like Chase, her husband didn't have his hospital bag packed. Not that they live far from the hospital, but it was still like they thought, okay, this is the date.
Yeah.
And then life, as we know, always has other plans.
Right.
So I'm anxious. I'm super anxious about that.
You know what? Release it. Do what you can to prep. And I mean, I am today recording from our finished kitchen. We didn't have a sink to wash our bottles or
I
anything
know.
in. It all got done the day we gave birth.
Oh my.
We literally arrived hours after people had finished putting in our appliances. Like, people gave birth in the woods.
I
Like
know.
my mom yesterday, being my mom, was like, I think about the pioneers and like I'm like, okay, who's thinking about the pioneers?
Well,
But like people
yes.
and you'll be fine. But do what you can to prep and just release it and know that if you kind of reframe labor and delivery as like one of the great unknowns, one of the great surprises of life, like it gets exciting. It's like you don't know your baby's birth story until that day. And like, what a fun thing
I
in a
know.
world where we have instant gratification with everything and like we can produce
Over plan
it
and
of our,
produce.
yes. And
Yeah.
for you and I, this is a great practice. So maybe just reframe it to be like, this is fucking awesome and exciting. And your baby's going to get here safe.
Yeah.
I know that you're high risk, but I have no doubt this baby girl is going to come into the world seamlessly, safely, healthily.
Healthily.
Yes. And then your little family of four will, be complete or
we're
not, depending on vasectomy.
we're doing a vasectomy. I've made very, very clear that I am not. doing this again.
I know, girl. I am.
This
And
pregnancy is hard. I threw up last night. Father's Day
girl,
dinner. Just
no.
puked my guts out.
Mm-mm. Andrew pulled
Oh,
oh, I love this. Should we do a third? And I'm like, no. If you want to pay for a surrogate, like maybe. I can't do this again. I mean,
I
if all
know.
my pregnancies were like Dylan, hells yeah, I could do it over and over again. This last one just took it out of me.
That's, I mean, literally Jason and Andrew are so similar. And if you guys haven't listened to the husband episode, please go listen because they're both pretty funny men.
Yeah.
Jason the other day was like, so we still have one embryo left. And because this baby was conceived naturally and miraculously, and we do have an embryo. And he's like, I just, we named the embryo because we're insane and we know the gender. And he was like, well, should we think about this? And I'm like, I I just don't think so. And he's like, well, let's wait until baby E is 1 year old and then we'll have that conversation. And I said, okay.
It's just enough time to forget how hard it is.
I don't know because Kaia is 1 years old and I still have not forgotten. I am
Because you're experiencing it right now.
maybe that's what it is, but I
It
do have
is.
some PTSD from the delivery and the pregnancy and I just I I said it before, I'll say it again. I wish everyone's birth could be as wonderful and seamless and magical as yours, and that's not my story, and that's okay. But
But
I
you're
like
stronger
love
for
that for
it.
you so much.
No. Well, and I will say, if it gives you any peace, I overnight felt better. Like, if you want to see a visual of how shitty I was feeling, go watch that husband episode because I was at the tail end of my pregnancy. I actually thought I was going into labor as we were
You
filming
did.
that. If you look at it, it's all, I mean, I just felt horrific. I immediately felt better getting this baby out of my body. Like,
You look fantastic. I
well,
mean, I
that's
know
very
I
nice.
told you earlier, but I was like, you just had a child 2 weeks ago.
I mean, I put on a little makeup. I don't want to lie to you, but I'm here like in my nursing bra. I'm wearing a nursing bra right now. You can't tell. I smell like spit
Put
up.
that
I
down.
most days look like a bridge troll, but today I put on a little makeup because I was like, I put out the worst on the internet the last couple of episodes because I felt so terrible. But just know that relief is instant. And I know you're going to have like a different set of healing and like, challenges after a C-section, but like the throwing up and the feeling exhausted, it's a different tired. It's a
Yeah,
more manageable tired when you're not growing a human inside you.
when you're not growing fingernails and a liver and hair and
Heart,
limbs and
a brain.
heart, yeah,
Yeah.
stomach. It truly is. I mean, women are just incredible.
Yeah. Like I said to you earlier, we are women. Hear us roar. I really feel that right now. I am in my womanhood right now. I feel like such a badass, and you will too. You're so
Well,
close.
I'm so happy for you guys and your family of four, and both your daughters are just gems and magical, beautiful, sweetest pie
Yeah.
angels, and you're glowing, and I can
Oh,
just see this like smile coming through you, and I'm so, so, so happy for you guys.
thank you.
I love it. I do want to say, so you guys, as I get ready for our second child, and Hallie is very much in the fourth trimester, as we like to call it, we are going to be continuing just doing one episode a week for a bit. So bear with us. We will go back to our regularly structured episodes here pretty soon. And we're so, so, so thankful that you dedicate any amount of time to listening to this. It touches us and it moves us. And I feel like it gives us both, like, you know, a purpose and like happiness to do this. So
Amen.
thank you for listening. Go congratulate Hallie on
Oh,
welcoming baby Collins if you haven't yet. And you go look at her pictures on Instagram because she's so freaking cute. I can't stand it. she's adorable.
Full head of hair and multiple chins. She's just perfect. Love
All
her.
right. You guys, we'll be back here next week. Thanks for listening.